right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, crew. Today we have a pretty special video for you. We're going to talk about the proper process of a presentation. The opening, the body, the closing, the objections. Let's get it.
Okay, morning crew, it's Ryan LeWare here. Let's quickly go over the three main keys to a great opening. So the first is preparation, the second is a great impression, and the third is why you're there. Let's quickly go over that. So again, preparation, you want to be prepared. When you come into the home, you have your computer ready, you have your folders ready, you know who you're talking to, you know what lead type it is. The second is a great impression. When you first knock on the door and you first greet them, you want to have a smile on your face, you want to look good, feel good, and you want to immediately establish control when you're in the home. Then lastly, the third is why you're there. When you let them know why you're there and what you're about to do, you immediately create that relaxed atmosphere, which will in turn lead to a great presentation. And most importantly, you'll be able to protect that family.
Okay, the body of the presentation. The body of the presentation is the most important part of the presentation when we meet with a family. Let's think about what we talk about in the body. We've already done the opening. We're going to do the closing later, but the body is the meat and the potatoes. That's the ham in the sandwich, right? That's the good stuff in the center. And when we meet with a family, throughout that body, first of all, we got to follow our scripts, okay? If you're not following your script when you're sitting with a family, if you're winging it, if you're doing what you think is right, I can promise you that it's not. You have to follow the script. You have to paint that vision for people. What does that mean? It means in the funeral final expense portion, saying to the family, Mark, Beth, when you die, who will be taking care of your funeral final expenses? Have you ever had to plan a funeral? When was that? I'm sorry to hear that. Was that sudden? And then painting the picture using the script, letting them know, you know, nowadays when we die, it's someone in our family that takes care of everything. Unfortunately, nowadays the funeral business is like any other business. See, folks, you gotta follow the script. You gotta paint the picture. If you don't know it word for word, you gotta learn it because you're not doing a good service to the family. It's in the paycheck protection, saying to families, Mark, when you're driving home tomorrow and you get in a car accident, or you have a heart attack, or you have a stroke, is your paycheck going to continue to come in to support Beth and the family? Is it, Mark? No, of course it's not. So you got to follow that script. You got to say to them, this is like a readjustment income. Mark, when you die, it's going to take a while for your insurance money to come into your family. Then when it does, what's going to happen to that $50,000? You pay back the funeral final expenses. You pay the final medical bills. You start trying to put food on the table. How long is that money going to last? Not very long. See, folks, you got to follow the script. That body of the presentation and then doing a proper closing, but really the body of that presentation is what creates the desire within the potential family policyholder. It creates the desire for them to protect their family. If you don't nail the body, you're not going to be closing anything, and you're not going to be able to handle any objections. So folks, I know a lot of you put a lot of time into perfecting your craft. Perfecting that body is the most important part.
So, closing. So there's three components of closing. The first one, script. Second one is a confident delivery. And then the third one is quiet. So let's talk about the first one, script. Guys, everything in that final closing line, it is extremely important that you follow it word by word. From my job all the way to which way that you want to go to, extremely important. Also, following that question, making sure that you ask them, now, who do you want this money to go to if you guys both die? Extremely important. Why? Because that gives them ownership of their benefit. Let's talk about a confident, right? Confident delivery. Guys, remember, you're the best that they're going to have. If you're there, you're presenting, you got to have that confidence. You got to deliver with confidence. You don't know if somebody else is going to be there before they die. You're the one that they're getting. You're the best, right? And then the last part is quiet. When you ask that question, which way, quiet, and you got to let them answer which way they want to go.
All right, team, objection handling. The greatest sports athletes in the world, the reason that they're the greatest is because they can see the play unfolding before it happens. You have your objection handles in the back of your playbook. You memorize those. You practice those. You know that objection's coming. And when you know that's coming, you're prepared. And as soon as it comes to you, bam, you're hitting it out of the park, home run. And in our world, that means protecting families, protecting ourselves through money, and just having a great overall day.
Okay, crew, hopefully you got a lot out of today's video. We talked about the process of a great presentation. Again, it was the opening, the body, the closing, and the objections. Let's be relentless. Just like any superior athlete, any professional, they're constantly practicing their craft. Let's make sure you're putting the proper amount of time into practicing yours, and let's have a fantastic day, a fantastic week, a fantastic month, and let's make sure we have our best year ever. Let's go.